You were once the greatest necromancer to ever exist. But millennia after being slain, you awaken to find yourself resurrected by someone clearly a novice. It is strange, despite how often I had reached into the depths of the realm of spirits and death itself, I had never once thought I would once roam the same. And despite how deep I had reached into it, the feeling of death itself never once had reached or affected me, so when death took me, the feeling was something I could never have expected or imagined. A cold and empty pull, your life gone in an instant as you lose all senses and bodily functions, and are forever condemned into a dark world with all other beings whose life had come to an end. However, thanks to my great knowledge and power I had in the dark arts and death in life long ago, I could reach into the realm of the living, as the connecting of the worlds was the same in both directions. Although I was unable to do anything in the realm of the living, as I had no body or ways to do the necessary rituals without the resources only in the world of life. Although the ability to watch and learn of events in the living world was invaluable. I learned that my body had long withered away, but my legacy remained, as my knowledge was passed on with hundreds practicing the arts only I had known about millennia ago. Then there was a change, as I felt a weak tug similar to the one of death, but it did not move or affect me at all despite me being able to feel it. Although it was brief, it soon became a common occurrence, and despite it happening almost daily, I was unable to find the source or what causes it. And then one day, while I was peering into the world of the living, I observed a familiar sight, a ritual of necromancy used in a magic academy exam. And just like I had done it long ago, it was amateur with many flaws and problems I could spot but once failed to find myself. But then the mage cast the spell initiating the ritual and the pull returned once again, and it all made sense to me. They were attempting to summon me into the living world to impress the academy, but failed each time they were trying the ritual due to their little skill and knowledge. But now that I knew where it was from, I could use my powers and strengthen the pull and bridge the gap with the things the summoner lacked. I reached out of the beyond and in a brief moment transferred my own soul and spirit into the prepared artificial body by following the weak pull of the summoner, which guided me along the path like I had once done. The ritual probably did not look as flashy as back then, but that was because one usually had to guide the spirit into the body instead of me just immediately entering the body as I entered the world, as I knew where to go. It took me some time, however, to get used to the body, as I did not have one for uncountable years. Manipulating the body was not easy and certainly was different than a real human body, which feels natural to move. But I soon felt my spirit and the body bond and could move it. I slowly moved each limb and slowly stood as the senses of the living world returned to a lesser functionality, but still overwhelming due to the lack of them for the many years without them. I could hear some noises of shock as I began to stand in the wooden body, which was barely able to move. It was that badly made, which again was really nostalgic to me when I first tried such a thing. I opened the artificial eyes made of some lesser quality gems and was glad that they worked despite their terrible craftsmanship. I slowly opened the mouth and attempted to speak, but found the design of the vocal cords incapable of speech, due to a missing component. I turned to the summoner, who was standing there clutching their staff with a gaping mouth and staring at me shocked and astounded. I slowly gestured at the throat of my body and shook my head, which seemingly confused them. It seems they cannot speak. Did you forget to put the amplifier spell onto the diaphragm? I instinctively make a movement of understanding and point in the direction of the speaker, whom I identify as one of the examiners of the academy. Looks like I did. Give me a second, responded the summoner before they quickly fixed the problem and added the missing spell. I again tried getting out a few noises and managed to do so, and after tried some more real words which soon worked but were rather quiet at first. Yeah, it works now, I think. I had made worse ones before, I said before trying to make some emotions with the artificial face. The people around me, however, react with shock or confusion at my statement. I move around a little more as if stretching and preparing for physical activity, and soon am able to move much more quickly as I get used to the body. Gotta say, never thought I would be on the other end of this ritual. Was quite interesting, I say before giving my summoner the biggest grin I could currently manage. Although have to say that you really need to work on some of your techniques. I did not spend my life researching this field just for you to go back to my novice days. I turn my attention onto the ritual below me and examine it more closely as I talk. Student Chloe, who exactly did you attempt to summon? One of the examiners asks, something they should have asked before the ritual was conducted. She stammers and trips over her words, unable to formulate a response, clearly unable to comprehend the fact that she succeeded after my apparent confirmation. I turn to look at the examiners and give a bow and smile. My apologies, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Searle, the progenitor of modern necromancy. Their sounds of shock and amazement were music to my artificial ears.